Oh, what do we have going on today? 2013 Volvo XC70, 83,000 miles. Came here from about an hour away up north, and this car, the owner says, if you want to put some money into it, keep it on the road. Customer complaints are the exhaust is very loud, and there's this annoying squeak coming from the right rear corner. When you're going over bumps, it's like wee, something. Bushings or something in the suspension. So I got the exhaust taken care of. I'll put some, didn't tape that. I'll put some pictures up. The flanges on the main pipes were completely vaporized by rust. I mean, they were gone. So split in the middle flange, and then there's a big hole right here by this exhaust pipe. You can see they patched that up with some weld, but for a 10-year-old Volvo, I thought they're supposed to be corrosion resistant. Well, it gets better. The right rear corner, the problem is, here's the entire knuckle, okay? The problem here is this bushing, you can see it's rusted and the rubber separated from the metal, and the whole arm migrated, and this little brake hose hanger was starting to rub on the body of the car. Pretty insane. So, I mean, let's see if we can knock this the rest of the way out. That's not supposed to happen. That's insane. So I guess the rust got in there and the rubber just separated from the metal, and the whole thing migrated out. So I have a replacement bushing here, ordered on FCP Euro. Apparently this is a common issue in the rust belt on these Volvos. See, it's supposed to be in one piece. Metal, rubber. So I'm sure the other side's not too far behind, but the owner just wants this complaint addressed, and this is not. It's a pretty time-consuming job. I mean, everything came apart, thankfully. We have one control arm, two control arms, axle shaft, three control arms, the one with a big spring, and then the sway bar link. It was the easiest. Just take this off. This is not coming off. It's all corroded in there. And this looks pretty rough for a 10-year-old car with not too many miles. They must put a lot of corrosive salt up there, but you know, for European cars, this is a little out of the ordinary. Maybe Ford got involved and they said, hey, you have to cut costs, and well, they did. But geez, so I'm gonna try to figure out how to get this metal ring out. I might have to just cut it out, clean out that hole, and then the new bushing, I have to make sure to press it in, you know, locate it. I don't know if there's a locating mark or something. Probably not. So let's figure out how to get this out. Maybe just cut a slit with it with a Sawzall and then knock it out with the air hammer, because this is very thin metal. I mean, I can bend it like that, so I don't want to, you know, put too much, you know, put this in a press or something. Let's get this out the easy way. So these bolts for the caliper are supposed to be 15s. Well, this one turned into a 14. I hope it comes out. So threads weren't too bad, but that got eaten away. There's that. I just want to take the rotor off, make this thing a little lighter. And there's the Torx bolt right there. Let's see, 45. No, might be a 50. 47. 50. It's a 50. Great. Alright, now it's more portable. Let's get to this part. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to use a grinder, cut some slits in this part of the ring, and try to push the bushing out through that way and see if it works. Man, this is totally gone. Nice. That's all that was left, just a little rusty shell. So we gotta clean this up and then figure out how to locate and press in the new one. This is interesting. They actually have a TSB on these bushings. Clunk, pull, bushing, and rear stay broken. There it is. Need some special tools, which we're not going to use. Oh yeah, there it is. It's all separated. Arm moves left and right. Causes issues. So apparently the new bushing is more protected against corrosion. I don't know. But we'll let's get this one in, reinstall it on the vehicle. Well, I had to resort to the 12-ton press here because the other method, it was just going crooked and it couldn't get started. At least with the press, it's a little crooked, but it's going in. Once it goes in a ways, it'll straighten out. Now the problem is here, this cup isn't exactly deep enough. The end of the bushing is coming out. So you can see it's almost flush with the collar. We need to go another 3/4 of an inch or something around there. At least it's going, and it's in line with the axle there, so that should be fine. So you gotta figure out how to push it just a little bit more. Alright, this is the finalized pressing setup. So I cut one of the big adapters to spread the cup a little bit so it can go around the lip on the arm. And then, since it wasn't tall enough, I'm using an old harmonic balancer. So the edge of the bushing can travel up in. And we're pushing it, and it's definitely doing its thing. So the press is the only way to do these. Now let me measure how far we want to press this thing in compared to the old collar, and we're almost done. Alright, here's the final product. That's how far it's exposed. Pretty close. Now let's reassemble the car. So the Volvo's going together fairly smoothly. Before tightening all of the bushing bolts, so I already have those tight since that's a pivot bushing, you want to compress the suspension to put the bushings in their kind of neutral state. The car is at ride height, and that way they won't get too stressed out if you go up and down from that initial position. So I got the spring control arm compressed and the bolt lined up there, so let's screw it in just a hair. I think that's a 15. Yep. And for jobs like this, an electric impact is worth its weight in gold. knock that one through just a little bit. There we go. Alright, so let's install the sway bar bushings. Now everything's nice and greased up, so next guy who takes it apart will thank me for doing this. And then we'll compress both springs to lift the rear suspension up, and we'll tighten down all the main bolts. Alright, let's take this baby for a spin. Exhaust is nice and quiet. Transmission fluid is fresh. Steering wheel is perfectly straight. Very smooth, quiet car. Yeah, so it drives perfect again. I'm sure there's a lot more miles left in it. But yeah, it's a little disappointing how much corrosion is affecting these newer Volvos compared to the older ones. Who's to blame? I'm going to blame Ford. Some of those suspension components were stamped FOMO-CO, and they were rusty. So it is what it is. I mean, this is when Ford really took Volvo over, and then they basically went downhill from there. So the 2000s generation of the 5-cylinder turbos, those are my favorite. The most solid Volvos, 300,000 miles. If you change your oil, no problem. These, well, there's no turbo, not as fun. It's smooth, it's a nice car, but any service is going to be more expensive on these. I mean, the engine is packed in the engine bay. It's inline 6. The alternator is kind of a weird setup. It's under the intake manifold. The belts are strange because there's no room on the side of the engine for a regular belt drive, so they have to get creative. But yeah, I'm sure the owner will be very pleased. He said it's his wife's favorite car. Understandable. Much nicer than a little dinky Toyota Prius, which they got to, as a spare car, I guess. But that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. A little bonus footage. This thing set a warning for the fuel cap being loose. So we're doing a smoke check. What the heck is going on here? So this, not the plastic line, it's the aluminum line, has been rubbing on the body, and now there's a huge leak in it. Come on, Volvo. What the heck? Alright, so the hole is in this aluminum line, the smaller one. I can stick my pick into the hole. Let's see if we can get that on camera here. There it is. Pick's in the hole. So how do you fix that without replacing the entire filler neck, which I'm sure is not cheap? Well, we try to wrap that up with tape. I don't know what else to do. Just get it nice and clean. This is honestly ridiculous. I can't believe Volvo did this. This is rubbing on the body. Wow. Alright, I think we have a no parts required victory, just a hose clamp and a piece of rubber inner tube. You can see just a little bit of smoke coming through, so I'll have to fine tune that. But our leak test is showing basically 0, so almost fixed. Well, final verification of repair here on this Volvo XC90. All of the readiness monitors are ready except for EGR. I don't even know if this has an EGR valve, but it might just be the whatever cam timing. But EVAP monitor, that's the one we're worried about. It's ready, and let's see if we have any codes or pending codes. No fault code. Yes. So the little inner tube hose clamp seal on that aluminum pipe. That did the trick, and the car runs the EVAP test overnight with the leak detection pump. This car's ready to get picked up, so that's awesome. Hopefully the owner's wife will enjoy it for a while with no check engine lights, no noises, smooth cruising.